Yesterday I was driving home from work thinking about what video I wanted to shoot today, where I wanted to go. Had some ideas, but they got derailed, quite literally. I came home to this on my Facebook feed. It was a nasty mess. Apparently a construction vehicle parked a little bit too close to the railroad tracks and derailed the train. As you can see from the bridge, the derailment actually pulled the rails, the track itself, directly from the bridge. And what you're seeing here is a little inlet bay. Fortunately, it's not connected to any creek system. They contained this rather quickly, but as you can see from the tanker cars, there was a considerable amount of oil. They were saying crude oil already spilling. And who knows what other chemicals. You have a couple cool cars in there too. It's just a mess. This took place about 2 miles below Lock 3. And Lock 3 is where we've caught a few of these beauties. My girlfriend and I tried to drive by the crash site later that night. Unfortunately, everything was closed off. Well, actually, it's probably fortuitous that they're doing that, since that is a pretty major biohazard leaking right there. Now, it didn't dawn on me until I was editing this video that this little stretch road actually does have some significance to my life. A couple years back, my girlfriend and I were actually driving inbound on Route 28 here, going back into town, and we happened to see a tornado actually hanging overhead, going over the highway and touching down by this sewage treatment plant here. The tornado was actually confirmed to me recently by the gentleman who was hanging out with me on the Verona dock in the Angry Carp video. And during the same summer as the tornado, there was also a microburst that touched down in Harmerville, which my girlfriend and I also experienced. So there's a lot of weird, cursed activity happening in this area. Now, just out of frame, a few doors down from these businesses, is a church. But this is no ordinary church. This is actually a former Ponderosa steakhouse that was converted into a church. So is it possible that this land has become cursed because God is angry that such a high-quality restaurant and steakhouse has been turned into a simple house of worship? Well, I'm no theologist, but the answer is yes. Yeah, and currently, the Allegheny River is closed from Harmer, where the accident took place, all the way downriver to the Point in Pittsburgh. It was crude oil, they're saying. Allegedly, it was all contained, but once again, it's closed from the accident site all the way downriver by about 7 miles, so you do the math from there. Hopefully, it doesn't wreck the ecosystem too bad, but what a mess. In better news, I actually have a gig tonight in West Newton, PA, which puts me on the Pittsburgh area's fourth river, the Allegheny, which is a tributary to the Monongahela. So there's a little park right in West Newton I want to check out. Supposedly it's better for pike fishing, so we're going to actually, hopefully, catch a pike. Or if nothing else, a bass. Or, you know, a fish. My name's Jake Werkmeister, and I love fishing.
Okay, against all odds, I didn't kill myself coming down this hill. Slid down for most of it, but survived to live another day. So since I'm going, I got both my bass rigs and GX2 here. I'm going to favor the GX2 today just because it has braided line and a leader already on it. More specifically, 20-pound braided line, which if I get what I'm hoping to find out here, I'll need it. Noticing some rocks and sticks down below. So we're going to start top water first because it's more of an overcast day. The Yauk is a totally different ecosystem than any of the three major rivers. Even though I just found out the other day that people are catching a lot of perch on the upper ends of the Monongahela away from town, so that's kind of interesting. I usually don't see that species around here. At least you'd have to go up to like Lake Arthur, Moraine State Park, Erie definitely to catch them. But usually they're a good, I don't know, probably a good 100 miles away from the city going north. So any excuse to try the whopper plopper. That's what we'll start out with first. Go from there. You can see the river was recently blown out, finally subsiding. This is all mud hole, stable enough. At least off the hills anyway. Water's still pretty fast moving. Looks like it drops down to about 3-4 feet. There's a whole bunch of minnow in the area, so this is all good. There's bait fish here. There's a predatory fish out there. There's a lot of little water spiders on the surface right now. Cracks me up how they swim upstream just to maintain their oh wow, there's a lot of minnow right there, whole school. And there's something bigger that followed me back in. So this is good. This is real good. See if it's a bass, pike, hopefully. Hopefully, come on, pike. I think this is going to be a good area. Good day. Nothing else, it's beautiful out here. The drive was really nice. It's not too far away from Pittsburgh either. And my gig is 2 minutes down the road. I love these things. If for nothing else, just the motion of them is just absolutely amazing to me. So we're on the tail end of the bass spawn. So we'll see if the smallies want to play too. I'm real curious to see what in the world that was. Put it downstream past it and hopefully cross its line of attack again. I only got about an hour and a half out here today, unfortunately. Traffic and basically traffic was a little bit worse than I was expecting, so that's unfortunate, but hey, we'll make the best of it. We're actually right on the border of West Newton, PA. I always forget about this. Boston, Smithton. There's a lot of cool little towns with access points. Central PA is just gorgeous. In between Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, believe it or not, there's a 300 miles of space in between and a lot of beautiful countryside. Gotta watch out for that tree there. That could cause problems. I keep teasing this little breakdown of the GX2. This is the second one I bought, just from Walmart, the whole spinning combo last year. And like I said, everyone wants to talk garbage about these reels, and hasn't been my experience. I mean, solid piece. No, it's nothing too fancy, but so far it's just been good and reliable. And when I'm pulling out steel cable with these things, you know, targeting catfish and carp on the rivers, or a catfish, 3-pound catfish that decides to bury himself in 30 pounds worth of weeds, I put a lot of stress on it already. So I'm not understanding how people are saying like the bail's breaking instantly. It's, what are you doing with it, bro? What I really like about it, this combo is a little bit heavier duty than what I would usually use for like a bass rig. The 6.6 size is right, but the overall construction and everything is just a bit too heavy to be, you know, swinging for walleye, panfish, bass all day. That's why I have all those lighter rods. But when you're targeting a predatory species like pike, yeah, you're gonna want something a little bit heavier duty than this. It does a good job at getting the bait out there too. Obviously a bait caster would be better, but I don't have one yet, and that's a story for another day. Sun's coming out, so I might try 1 or 2 more casts. I might switch over to jig. That bluegill swim bait I have is tempting, but I don't know if I necessarily trust the $25 lure with all the sticks I'm seeing. I got it off my friend for $2, but regardless, in order to meet up with him again, I'm going to need to use about $50 worth of gas. He lives 3 miles away from me. Yeah, we're going to assume that the sun is too bright for them right now on top water, so let's go down below, see what's down there. The answer is leaves. By the way, I probably should have brought a change of clothes just for safety's sake, in case I do go down in this mud getting out of here. Oh well. It's a hippie show. Everyone keep an open mind. And that current is fast today. I'm gonna have to retrieve that slower to get it down low. Just because that current keeps pulling it up to the top. So we'll do that. My dad got this off of Amazon. I think it was a kit of 5. Just like a little swim bait minnow, but what's nice about it, the hook is actually buried in the middle of a dorsal fin. I was using this to catch pike up in Erie last year. Works pretty well. That school of minnow just disappeared somewhere. Kind of curious about that. But yeah, this thing does a good job of bouncing off of all adversity outside of getting pinned in between rocks. Speaking of rocks, my initial plan for today was to go down to Sharpsburg. For one, show the difference in water levels from the last time we were down there versus now. But with that oil spill, they have everything shut down. No access to the river from Harmerville to the point until further notice. Probably because they have all the chemicals contained though. It swims pretty nice in there. Choosing my steps very carefully. This is still a mud pit. Like, hey, I got waders in the car. You think I'd use them? Nah. Actually, Harry and I, he kind of pulled me back into fishing last May. We were in waders on the Ohio River. There's a little, probably a 4-foot shelf, so for me it was waist deep. Gets stuck on a stick, bounces right off the stick. I like this thing. I need to go out, get the kit myself. Had good luck with the blue Keller. Works pretty well as a bass lure too. Though the pike definitely, I was just fishing from shore on Erie. And there's a little spot offshore that I know of. Where if you target about 50 yards out, there's our minnow. If you target about 50 yards out, there's a little bed of a whole bunch of plants. Now, if you go around August, it's very frustrating no, July and August, it's real frustrating to get anything outside of a jigged worm out there. But if you go in September, most of your baits will work. Most lures will work without a problem, and you still got those guys. It's a pike haven. When travel allows, I'll make my way back up there again this year. Yeah, that current is really something. There's more minnow. Too bad I don't have anything for, I do have my trap on me. It's not too far away of a walk to get back to my car. Got the second rod. Get a rod holder in the ground and just bait fish as I'm tossing. Yeah, that's okay. We're sticking to the lures. Smalley. I think that's what came up earlier. Smalley. Hey, Smalley. Oh, he's barely hooked. Gotcha. We got you. He came up, hit that hard too. Man, got a little piece of flesh that's holding on to that real good. There we go. There we go. Little dink. Pretty color though, man. It's darker than the, see, that's typically the coloration I'd expect from a smallmouth bass.
My wife said it was spawning season and I should stay on the bed. But would I listen? No. Had to go chase the little rubbery fishy looking thing. What's the worst that could happen, I said. Well, now look at me.
Golden color. Very, very pretty. Gonna let you go. Thank you. Be free. If I were a betting man, that was the fish that chased me all the way in, too. It's official. I smell like fish. It's official. I smell like fish. Well, that means one thing. It's officially 5 o'clock. So, I'm going to have to take off.
Upon getting to the venue, a question I had at the start of the day was finally answered.
I learned a valuable lesson today. Check your venues for water access, because you may just find it. So it's the next day. Had to wait for good lighting conditions. Got pretty dark by the end of the night. But me and my dad are actually heading out to a sound gig now. And when I was packing up and finishing up my gig last night,
was talking to all these boaters and fishermen in the area who were giving me information on good spots in the area. So we'll definitely be back to the Allegheny, and there's a couple other creeks connected to that that are supposed to be pretty cool. All right, until next time, keep on fishing.